Well, good morning, everyone. How about a round of applause for Maria, Christina, and Bryn? Thank you, guys. Well, aloha. My name is Michelle LeMay, and I'm a Board of Trustee here, and I'm going to be sharing some of the activities that we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks here at Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, and we've actually got a lot going on and lots of big, fun festivities. So are you ready for some fun this week? Yay! Well, first off, it's going to be our 4-year anniversary party next Sunday. Woo! It's a big deal. We love to party here. So we are going to be actually having our service at Lidgate Park at the Big Pavilion. So please make a note of that. It's going to be at the same time, but it's going to be just grander and bigger, and it's a potluck because we love potlucks and food. So keep that in mind, too, if you'd like to join us after. The music's going to be Sacred Earth Choir, and there's just going to be lots of love happening to celebrate us being here. And then one of the things that we're going to be doing differently is we're actually going to have a silent auction that's going to be happening towards the end of service and then during the eating time that Sue and Jan have been doing. And thank you for those of you who have contributed for the silent auction. And it's just one of the ways here, every time around our birthday, we also do fundraising, and that's to help us move forward for what we're doing here at the center, into the community, and there's definitely some things that we're needing. So that's one of the things that the ladies have set up for us to be able to do that. So thank you for those who had contributed, and then thank you for all those who will be bidding and making it a success at our birthday. So thank you so much for that. And now Patrick, after the service, will have a clipboard. We are also looking for volunteers to help set up in the morning and then also clean up and break down after. And then Roseanne, which I think she's still out back, we'll have a clipboard in regards to potluck. There she is. She came around the corner. And just to keep an eye on what people are bringing, and if you have an idea of what you're wanting to bring, please let Roseanne know, because that's always helpful to coordinate, even though we always know that enough shows up and plenty shows up and a variety is always available. So we will just help keep track with that. And then we, along with our birthday celebrations, we have started doing a musical, fantastical, theatrical cabaret featuring the Reverends. It's a brand new show, new music, new musician, and it's all done from their heart and actually from their background. They have theatrical backgrounds. So Deborah Valentina and her team are going to transform this space into a cabaret, a New York style cabaret. It's lots of fun. It's actually an evening to dress up, which is great because, you know, it's an opportunity to dress up. Yeah, you can still wear shorts. That's still part of dressing up here. So you're okay, Dawn. You want to bring a tie, too? You can, if you have one. He just shivered. Yeah. So tickets are only available on pre-sale. They will not be sold at the door. So if you are wanting to get tickets, now is the time to do so. They're $45 a piece, but what that includes is an hour and 15-minute show, and we're going to have a poo-poo buffet beforehand, and a couple of drinks are included as well. So, and it is definitely part of our fundraising for around the birthday. So please, and it's just a great night and a great time. So come and enjoy. And we invite you to invite your friends and tell your friends about it, even if they don't come to the center. There's flyers, and we also have little postcards, so you can hang them up, pass them out, and invite your friends to come along as well. Does that sound good? Yes, and that's going to be the 13th and the 14th, Thursday and Friday evenings, and it starts at 6:30. So again, tickets will not be sold at the door. I know that gets scary for people. People wait till the last minute, but we can do good and commit now. All right. Well, those are the main activities that we've got coming up. We have lots more coming up in July for sure, and they're all on your pamphlet. If you have any questions about any of the events that we've talked about, definitely see us, see myself, or any member here. All right. Well, thank you for your attention, and I'd like to introduce Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Aloha.
Always something going on. Wasn't this a week, though? We had a lot going on. We had the spiritual cinema on Friday night, which was Kumari. If you haven't seen it, don't feel like you were left out, because you were. But all you have to do is go rent it. It's a really, really powerful movie.
It's on YouTube. So
yeah. So, and then we also had our the Game of Life on Tuesday with over 30 people here. Who was at the Game of Life? Woohoo! So we just are really having a lot of things going on here, and it's so exciting to see us continue to grow the way we are, and the people that keep coming back. year after year that live off island, and we're just one big global community. So yeah, that's great.
So if you're here for the first time and you wonder what we are not a cult. I had to say that after Kumari. No, we are a amazing spiritual teaching that just teaches us that love, that guru, that God presence is within us, and that we have the opportunity to bring that out and express that as our life in every single solitary moment, to expand our life. This month is all about free to grow, and we are free to grow every moment. The past is the past, and we are free to grow anew every moment. So we believe that here, and we practice it and bring it into our lives. So thank you for being with us.
And who is here for the very, very, very first time? I see someone over there. Anyone else? Yeah, raise your hands high. Don't worry.
Standing up, because we just want to love you. Can you
Because
stand
what
up?
we'll be doing is auditioning you for our Love Notes Cabaret. And
Hey, where are their gifts?
yeah, so there we go. And over
Where
there, if you, yeah.
Yeah.
So, just so you'll know, Amorosa has told us a few things about some of the people that they know, and we'd like to share them.
So
And
is
then
Maria and
and
Kurt.
so we're going to let them know exactly who. Could you just stand up? It's only a second. Ready, and here it goes. You are magnificent. Woo, isn't that a relief? That you are magnificent. And why do we know that? Why do we know that? We know that because we know that about ourselves. So shall we all say it together? I am magnificent. And if you'll look right over there where the wonderful Rob Jones is standing, there's a camera that's peering down onto us every Sunday. It's called live streaming. And there are a lot of people that are watching us. So let's let them know who they are. You are magnificent. And now look to your left, to your right, up, down, wherever it is. How you? And let them know, oh, you are magnificent. Maria is definitely magnificent. Harry, magnificent. Patrick, oh, Katie.
You are magnificent.
You think I didn't see you? You are magnificent. Okay, Lil, let's stand up and take that magnificence into our opening song.
And
It's
we
a
have
new month, a new song.
A new song this month. So
Please
turn
sing
your
along.
programs.
We have the wonderful Maria and Brent.
Brent.
Let's talk about love.
Love is all there is, right here, wide open. Love is all there is, I'm here to be open. Love is all there is, we're right here, love, always, always. Love is all there is, right here, wide open. Love is all there is, I'm here to be open. Love is all there is, we're right here, love, always, always.
Love is all there is. God is all there is. Light is all there is. Source is all there is. Energy is all there is. That's what we are. We're pure, beautiful, amazing energy in every single solitary moment. And I know we bring that here today to celebrate that and expand it even more within ourselves. So I bless this service. I bless each and every person here, knowing that we are unfolding perfectly in every moment. There is only good. That is all that we are. So we celebrate that today as I take this word in gratitude and just release it. I let it go into universal law and know that it is so as we affirm together. And so it is.
Love is all there is, right here and wide open. Love is all there is, I'm here to be open. Love is all there is, we're right here, love, always, always. Love is all there is, right here, wide open. Love is all there is, I'm here to be open. Love is all there is, we're right here, love, always, always.
love
Love.
I love
It's
those
all
little
about
endings
love.
that you guys give. Thank you so much. That was amazing. And thank you, Jonathan, Maria, and Bren. So,
Starting out with
all
love.
right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me okay? I know a lot of you know me, but some of you don't. I'm the guy that's chained up in the corner behind the camera every Sunday. And since this is all about freedom this month and the free week, these wonderful reverends unlocked me so that I have the freedom to lead you into meditation. So, if you would like to get comfortable in your chairs and close your eyes, I do have a thought from that famous Christian, Hans Christian Andersen. He said, just living is not enough. One must have sunshine, freedom, and a little flower. Just living is not enough. One must have sunshine, freedom, and a little flower. Just living is not enough. One must have sunshine, freedom, and a little flower. And what I know and acknowledge today is that free living I declare today that everything that needed to be said or needed to be heard is heard today, because we are here through divine appointment. We are a manifestation of God, and we have the freedom to choose the life that we wish to live. We have the freedom to be who we want to be. And I am so thankful for all of this freedom, for the manifestations that happen continually in our lives for better and greater living. So I say mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Thank you for all of this as I release my word into the law that always says yes, as we say together, and so it is.
All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. Please sing along. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love in sweet surrender, in sweet surrender. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love in sweet surrender, in sweet surrender.
Can you hear me? Yes. I just want to take a moment after all of that. Just acknowledge that right where we are, peace is. And that was a perfect example of that peace that's within us. So let's just send that peace out into the world from where we are, right here and right now. And know that we do make a difference when we come from a place of peace. And so it is. Thank you, Rob. My heart is very full with our 3 practitioner interns, Rob and Roseanne and Malia. Where's Malia? I know she's here. Oh, there she is. Roseanne, because they're getting ready to do their panels in July here, just another week. And I'm just so proud of what Rob just did right now. It's a beautiful thing to see people growing in this teaching and seeing them able to give it back out into the world. So thank you for that. So Free to Grow is the title of this Sunday, and this whole idea of freedom is all month long. We are free to grow. And I want to start with a quote I read this week in the Science of Mind magazine by David Alexander. He is a spiritual leader in Oregon and also works in the home office. Also made the film What is New Thought? If you haven't seen it, it's great. And he said, the universe has made an agreement to bring itself forward as you. The universe has made an agreement to bring itself forward as you. That is like such a powerful statement to me. It gives me a feeling of what it's really all about, that I actually made this agreement with the universe before I came here to come forward as me. And so I have to ask myself every day, what am I doing with that? What am I doing with that? And this week, there was a few times where I didn't like really what I would consider do that good at that. I got caught in the world of conditions. I got caught in things that I thought should be showing up that weren't showing up. I got caught in looking to the outside. I got caught in little, what I call demigods that we make. And you know, the first commandment, it says, don't to worship the Lord thy God and nobody else. Well, in the science of mind teaching, what that means is worship that God within, that power, that light, that energy that surrounds us and infuses us, and nothing else. But sometimes we turn like our conditions and the things in life into, I call them demigods. We turn them in and we start worshiping them and we start focusing on them and we forget. And we all do that at times. And that's why I love this teaching so much, that has shifted my life, and that I can always go back to that idea that I am that power and presence, and I don't have to rely on anything outside of myself, that it's all here right where I am, no matter what I am experiencing. Florence Shin said, they asked a question, when will I see, when will the darkness leave, or something like that in my life? And she said, when you can see in the dark. The darkness isn't going to leave until you turn your light on bright enough that you can see in the dark, and then it won't be dark anymore. And I found that this week. It's like I said, I was putting myself out into outside conditions, outside things, and I was waiting for it to show up before, right? And we all fall into the trap, even though we might think we're spiritually evolved or whatever, but we still fall into the trap, because there's so much power, as Patrick and I always do, we point out there's so much power in what we see that we can sometimes forget what we truly are. And what happened was, as soon as I really brought that home through spiritual mind treatment, through prayer, through talking to my beautiful husband, through reading great things, through being with people that are positive, all these great things, through being with myself most of all, and meditation and all that, I finally did what I call is surrender. Surrender is where it's at. As soon as we surrender, it's all up. It's all great. It's the thing we have to do. We have to surrender. And when things aren't working in our life and we think we're going to try to make them fix them, as soon as we can surrender, and that looks different maybe to all people. To me, it's like giving up. As soon as I give up what I think the way something's supposed to turn out, I think it's supposed to come from here, I think it's supposed to do this or whatever. As soon as I can just give that up and go, you know what? I don't really care anymore. I don't care, because I know who I am. I might be in the dark right now, but I know who I am right now. And whatever, I'm fine. I'm telling you, huge shift. Or as Peter would say, holy shift. I think that was it. I really believe it's all about surrender. And it's all about the idea that we're perfect. We're perfect. We have a saying in Ernest Holmes, perfect God, perfect man, perfect being. It's the perfect treatment. If you ever want to, if you're in a hard spot, just repeat those words. Perfect God, perfect man, woman, whatever you want to say, perfect being. We begin perfect. I don't care what you learned in your catechism class or anywhere else. We are perfect. We're the ones that are perfect because, first of all, if you believe in an outside God, let's say you do. We don't. We believe everything comes from within, right? But if this being is so perfect, why would it put out something that's not perfect? We are perfect. We don't have a spot on us. We are perfect. And what we do have, though, and what today is all about, is freedom to choose. We have freedom to choose, and that's why we might seem not perfect at times, because we have freedom. Otherwise, we'd be robots, and we'd be walking around going, yes, 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 okay, whatever you say, sir, blah, 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 ma'am, whatever. No, we're not that. We have the right to choose. So what our evolution is about is about us making the right choices at all times, not choices of like, oh, I'm good, I'm bad, I did this, I whatever, I stole something today, or I had an affair, or what. None of that stuff really matters. What matters is the choices you make to remember who you are and to live your life from that place. And then all the other stuff will take care of itself. So we are perfect. It's just that we're every day we realize more and more how perfect we really are. And it is a journey. And I believe that it's an evolutionary spiritual journey that we're all on. Some of us are further along than others, maybe. I don't know. All I know is that everybody gets to go home in every moment, and we get to start all over again. So Ernest Holmes says we hypnotize ourselves. I love he uses this a lot. We hypnotize ourselves into thinking we're incomplete or imperfect. We actually do. Because we have like a subconscious that's working all the time. And whatever we're telling it, as we learned in the game of life, is what's manifesting. So, and when I say perfect, I'm not saying that we do perfect things. I'm talking about innate perfectness, okay? I'm not talking about that we always make the perfect decisions. I'm talking about, it depends on how you define perfection. Ernest Holmes also wrote, we are bound because we are first free. Now think about that. We are bound because we are first free. The same power that we allow to bind us is the same power that frees us. That's not the exact quote, but it's we are bound because we are first free. The power which appears to bind us, is the only power in the universe which can free us. It makes so much sense. It's like we came fully equipped to live on this plane of existence and to go and do what it is. And our innate quality is goodness. Our innate quality is power, light, beauty, love, energy, source, whatever you want to call it. That's what we are. And we get to live it to the extent that we want to live it. He also said we suffer. If you don't know who Ernest Holmes is, in case you're here for the first time, he is a wonderful, amazing teacher and mystical man that wrote The Science of Mind and Spirit and many, many, many other books, and just is a fantastic writer and a fantastic teacher and a fantastic mystic who lived in the early 1900s. We suffer not because suffering is imposed on us, but because we are ignorant of our true nature. So, hey, when we don't, that's why I always say, let's go back to step 1 and 2 of treatment, which is God is all there is, and I am that. So when we know that, then everything else takes care of it. Everything takes care of itself, right? Just like it did for me this week. As soon as I went back to who I truly am and stopped trying to manipulate my world, then it took care of itself. And it does, because we can guarantee on this law of cause and effect. We can guarantee it. It's interesting. In the preamble to the United States Declaration of Independence, which we're celebrating this week, right? We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So, they even said it for us. We are born with these inalienable rights. Those guys were metaphysicians for sure. And then we have a government within us, which is the law of cause and effect, that's going to take care of it for us. It's going to allow us to live our life however we want to live it. And the other thing I want to just reiterate today is this idea of starting over. Patrick and I has just celebrated our 16th wedding anniversary. Yeah. And I know lots of people have done this in the past, but we never have. We actually renewed our own vows. So what we did is we just went down to the beach and recommitted ourselves to each other and recommitted what we wanted the next moment to be like. And we talked about the past a little bit, but we said, but we want our life to be like this right now. I commit this and that. And we all have that opportunity, whether we're married or not, to recommit ourselves in any moment to our life. Thomas Paine, we have it in our power to begin the world all over again. That is so metaphysical. We have it in our power to begin the world all over again. And that world within ourselves, we have in our power to begin it all over again in any moment. And by changing the course of our thoughts, our actions, and our deeds, we change the law of causation in our life. We change it and it starts to move. That's what happened to me. As soon as I started to change my thoughts, the law of causation was like, and what's really interesting, what happened had happened before. This is why I know there's no time, because it's not like what happened in that moment. It had already happened, but it showed itself up as soon as I changed my mind. So everything is all happening at the same time, and we just got to get on the train, and it's all good. It's all good. So I want to start. I read this last year, and I want to read it again because I feel that it's appropriate for today, since we're celebrating freedom, and we're celebrating the 4th of July soon. And it's this, and I rewrote it. And I think I read it last year, and maybe you remember it, but I rewrote this. When in the course of my life it becomes necessary for me to dissolve the bands of limitation which I have constructed in my mind that prohibit me from realizing my full power under the laws of nature as being created in God's nature and all that I am entitled to, I separate myself from men's opinion and unify myself with my true nature, which says that I and all humanity are created equal, that we are endowed with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, a law of cause and effect is instituted in our being. And I say yes to using this power constructively for myself and in turn for all of creation. And that whenever any form of thought in my mind becomes destructive of these ends, it is my right under law to abolish it and to institute new thought, laying its foundation on these true principles and bringing in that moment into my life all that is good. This is my freedom under law. This is my duty as a divine being, and I declare this as my truth and go forth now to live it. That's my gift to you on the 4th of July, and to let you know, thank you, and so it is, that the highest law, and we learned this from Florence Shin the other night, and it's in the Bible, it's all over the place, that the highest law is the law of grace and forgiveness. And it abolishes all other laws. It is the highest law. And it says to me, what that says to me, that we are always in this divine state of grace no matter what's going on in our life, and we can rely on that. So whatever is the past, and we get to have a new thought today, a new government within, and a new life. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is.
All that is forever, hold me in your presence and open up my guidance and melt me into you. And please protect me in times of darkness. Eternal love, I need your tenderness. I passed up everything I was praying for, and now I've never wanted anything more. My closest friend, the best of the best, and you came, but trust and faith. Where else could I ever belong but in your vast embrace? And please don't let me get lost in these delusions. No matter how interesting they may seem, you are the truth that's shining through every illusion, waking me up from the wildest dream. My closest friend, the best of the best, and you came, but I wasn't ready then. My closest friend, now is this finally a chance for you and me to be one again. Flow with me, breathe with me, love through me. Show me what I need to see that I don't. Flow with me, breathe with me, love in me. Wherever you are is where I wanna be. Flow with me, breathe with me, love through me. Show me what I need to see that I don't. Flow with me, breathe with me, love in me. Wherever you are is where I wanna be. Wanna build my world around you. I see you everywhere. Remember when I felt alone, even though you were right there. Please show me how to love you and always got my way. So my arms are all around you while I'm living in yours, night and day. Flow with me, breathe with me, love through me. Show me what I need to see that I don't. Flow with me, breathe with me, love in me. Wherever you are is where I wanna be. Flow with me, breathe with me, love through me. Show me what I need to see that I don't. Flow with me, breathe with me, love in me. Wherever you are is where I wanna be. You are the best of the best, and we belong together. Oh, and one day, hopefully, love will be all you'll see when you look into me, and we'll be together. This time forever, forever and ever, forever and ever, ooh, forever and ever, ooh, forever and ever.
Just beautiful. Just beautiful. It's always hard because you send me floating away and then I go, I'm up next. You know, so I'm like, I'm floating out there and then I got to come back. So here I am. Aloha. Aloha. It's Independence Day, Independence Life, Independent Moment. 16 years. My goodness. We've actually known each other for 20 and married for 16. And boy, have we been free to grow. And we have. And I feel very blessed that we know that it is all happening within us. Individually, it was two wholes that came together to express. I never work well with that. You know, where's your other half? I don't have one. I really don't. But sometimes it feels that way if I need that other half to, that other whole to come in. So I'm going to start with a quote today from Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of Science of Mind and Spirit, as Rita was saying. He tells us that the seed of freedom is planted in the innermost being of man, woman. but like the prodigal son or daughter, must make the great discovery for himself or herself. And that's why we are here, usually, because we are trying to discover what's going on. Something really great is going on, but something is going on. And Independence Day is kind of like, I want to be free. And we're all talking about freedom. And freedom comes with responsibility. And that's a good thing. But I was thinking of my granddaughter who just turned 13, the same one that was the queen and the diva. And once again, she gets a little airtime. So one day, good thing she's not watching live stream because we're going, why is he talking about me? But let me tell you about Jade, and I remember her when she was very, very little. And we were sitting at the table having breakfast, and Rita made the most wonderful pancakes. They were delicious to everybody but her. So she did that typical, I think she was like 6 or something, that kind of like, oh, I don't like these. Well, my natural defense for Rita emerged. I don't care how old you are, you're talking about her pancakes at this point. You're talking about her pancakes, and now I'm getting all like riled up. I'm going, she's 6 years old. Just remember that, Patrick, as you're defending Rita. But she didn't like them. And I said, and she wanted more made. Well, that didn't work for me at all, because I said, well, then don't eat them. Simple as that. And she said, you're not the boss of me. Claiming her independence right there. You're not the boss of me. And I'm never, ever, ever coming back here. So I said, Rita, go get the camera. Go get the camera. So she's puzzled, not getting what she wanted, obviously. Go get the camera and get it now. What are you doing? I understand, Grandpa. We need to get pictures right now. Start taking pictures of Jade right now. Why? Because you're never coming back. And I simply need to have some remembrance of this trip. So get the camera. Well, I broke all paradigms. And she's like, totally like, I'll eat the damn pancake. What's he talking about? Now, that was manipulation to some degree, but it was but it leads me into this rite of passage that we all have. And it doesn't mean that if you're the type of parent or uncle or grandpa that makes the pancake, again, for them, that's wrong. That's just a decision, a freedom of choice. But I can only know and hope that maybe Jade, and she's still speaking to me, and she still visits, so hopefully she'll know that there was something to be learned from that. It's like what we were talking about before, about giving away your power. Yes, you can have freedom to choose, but you do not have the right to take away mine. You do not have that right. And so yesterday I had the honor of going to a bar mitzvah, my first one. Anybody ever been to a bar mitzvah? They're like very, very cool. And it's very much what I'm on nowadays anyway, with this rite of passage with men, and our rite of passage was not quite the same, at least mine wasn't. And mine was just kind of feel it out and see where you're going. And get to be an adult. But anyway, I learned something there, and I want to share I wish Ruth was here because it was her grandson. So he was talking about, and they did the whole ceremony and the whole ritual, but what he had to do was interpret one of the, stories out of the Torah. And so you know how I love, last time I did Moses and the Red Sea and he did the one about when Moses had to hit the rock to get the water out of it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically what it is, and this is my interpretation, not Isaac's. And it really made me think of this whole idea about giving somebody a fishing pole instead of throwing fish at them. And so what I learned about this rock, what happened basically is they were out in the desert, and I didn't realize there was so much complaining going on because I actually, like when he said it, he goes, they were complaining and complaining. I went, oh my God, I was saying the same thing when they were trying to get through the Red Sea. And they were like, I don't know, should we stay, should we go? And the same thing with the rock. Well, you would have thought, this is my opinion of this, Moses, you would have thought if he already parted a Red Sea, perhaps the rock might work. I don't know about you, but I don't know what it takes for us to really believe. But they're like, I don't even know why you brought me out here. And they even said, you should have just let us die back there. We'd have been better off because we don't have any food and no milk and no honey. And all this, and I'm sure they said it just like that. And but I'm thinking, people, let's work together on this. You know, Moses, get it done. Moses, get it done. Why don't you get it done? Why don't you step up and let's work as a community? You know what I mean? So anyway, Moses is like, what am I going to do? So you picture it. You get a voice that tells you to gather everybody up. I'm trying to think of it now. Everyone gather up here. I'm Reverend Patrick, and I know you're all thirsty, and you need some water, and God knows you won't stop griping about this whole thing. It's like, you know, no water, no this, no that. So there's this big rock up here. And I said, well, I heard a voice. And it told me to just take my staff and hit the rock. And we'll get some water. And they're all like, oh, that's the only idea you have? That's the only idea you have is to hit some rock because some voice or, like I repeat, once you part the Red Sea for me, I'm yours. You had me at hello. So now Isaac's interpretation was that he hit it, but then Moses had a moment of crisis of faith and hit it again because I guess he didn't really believe that that's his interpretation. And then the water came out, right? And everybody's like, yeah, I knew it all along. No, you did not. And first of all, freedom is the choice in faith. To choose to have faith. And like Rita was talking about, when our water came, it came when we had faith. And that's a big lesson. The water is a representation of life and the flow of life. On Friday, we saw this movie, Kaua'i, about the inner guru and this guy who pretended to be a guru and got followers based on whatever he made up at the time. And that's okay. Because he learned a lesson, they learned a lesson, and if you want more, you can see the movie. But all of this started to tie in for me. How we're so willing to give our power away. How we're so willing to, and the same power that the water came out of was your power. He didn't have any more than you. He was just willing to step up to it. That was it. Moses. Jesus went to the same thing, man. People walking out of graves. They've got, turning the water into wine, which, by the way, is my favorite miracle of his. But still, he did it. He said, walk. And why he did it was he wasn't thinking to himself, just like Moses wasn't thinking, I wonder if the water is going to really come out of here, or is this going to be a really bad moment for me? He said, you know what? I surrender it all. I'm free to choose. And I'm going to, and here's the other thing. In reality, he didn't even need his staff. I want water, man. And whether or not it came out of the rock or that another village came over and delivered it, I don't care how the story turned out, that their thirsts were quenched. But I'm wondering, as the story goes on, if they didn't meet another moment in their life when it was all about Moses, about turning our power over, our freedom. And that doesn't mean, it was beautiful on Friday, this beautiful person in the circle made this idea, said this idea that it's not the responsibility that we have to do this on our own. Sometimes our human self gets tired of pushing, tired of making it happen, tired of thinking that it's all on my shoulders. Sometimes you need a bridge. And that's what we do here. We create bridges from lack of faith to faith. But we're not the power. I'm not the power. Rita, we are powerful. God knows I'm powerful. But it's all the same power in how we use it. And I'm thinking to myself, I love Florence Shin. She said, the one who knows spiritual law is undisturbed by appearance and rejoices while he or she is still in captivity. You know, it's really, really wonderful to celebrate when it's in your hands, to rejoice and glorify God. You know what that means? That doesn't mean that you're worshiping something. You're glorifying the same thing that Rita was talking about that idea that the universe had this idea that said, I'm committed to living through each and every one of us. Each and every one of us. And that's the freedom, and you have all the freedom you'll ever need. But you have to take it, and you have to own it. And I'm telling you, it is so easy to do when it's all like, I just manifested a check that you wouldn't even believe. It was so wonderful. Where I was lost, I am found until you don't see it. And we tell you these things about ourselves, not to say, oh my God, look, we're right in the ditches with y'all. What we're really saying is we were in the ditch and we climbed out of it. And how we did it. We teach here not what to think, but how to think for yourself. And so what I know about today is that it is time, as always, to come forth. In reality, it says, imagine just for a moment that you have all the power. Really take a moment here and say, wow, I have the entire power of the universe flowing through Patrick right here, flowing through each and every one of us. If we really, really believe that, people, you wouldn't even be in your seats. You would be jumping up and down saying, can you believe that I am the power? And we would trust it, and we would trust when something doesn't come through, or when we're not healing at the speed in which we want to heal, or we're not having the divine financial abundance. It always comes back to money sometimes, you know what I mean? Money's an interesting thing. I'm going to crack that nut before I leave this plane of existence. Trust me on that one. Just like next year I will be back in my Spidey suit. But that's a whole nother story. I am so grateful for this week. Yeah, for you to think I'm just like randomly talking. I was Spider-Man for 10 years with Marvel Comics. I'll be signing autographs afterwards. But the question about power is this: does it feel too good to be true? Because it's not. We have a power, and I'm just, whew. And sometimes I wonder, like this week, what Rita was talking about. I take a moment, I get a little disappointed. And I just want to share this because I know better. I know who my daddy is, man. I don't have to guess where I came from. I know who I am. And yet, I get scared. But I get something that is so powerful to fall back on. Faith. Faith is not something you get out of a class. You don't get it on Sunday either. Faith is a choice. You must choose it. If you choose it, then it is yours. You do not acquire faith. You do not go into some sprinkling waterfall and allow yourself, and you go, oh, I am immersed in faith right now. You are not immersed. You are in a waterfall. You are in a waterfall that's beautiful. Faith is, I demand that I have faith in my life. so that the next time that the boogeyman comes out to scare me, that I have faith in who I am. Are you with me on that? This is Independence Day. What if this was the Independence Day that we all just said to ourselves, oh my God, within, I am free. Can you say it with me? I am free. I am free. I am free. Now act like it. I love you. Namaste. You're welcome. We kind of matched today. Did you notice that? We are not wearing the t-shirts that say, I'm with him and I'm with her. You'll never see that t-shirt on us.
Oh, but that's okay too. So it's our time of sacred giving, of affirmative giving, saying yes to our own abundance, saying yes to the abundance of this center, and for all the good work that we do and that goes out into the world. We thank you in advance for your donation. Mahalo nui loa. And to everyone online, thank you so much for supporting CSL Kauai.
Yes, mahalo.
And let's read the affirmation in our program and really take it in. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it does.
So it is.
Thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have.
We are blessed for all we have. And what I know is that in this basket are all of the seeds and the little flowers that have been manifest here today to let the CSL Kauai garden flourish and grow and bloom. So I say mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Thank you for these blessings. Thank you for all of you. As we say together, and
So it is. Mahalo.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And we don't have any children today. In fact, we're holding off on our youth center until we can get together with Janice and really develop the curriculum. So if you have a child, they're always welcome to be in service until further notice, until we have our wonderful curriculum in place. So
And we have our
but we-
wonderful,
okay, I wanted to just still do a blessing for the children. So yeah,
Oh.
and eat. Okay, well,
Yes.
just the good thing about blessings and treatment is
Yeah.
that there's no space and time in the mind of God good, so that no matter where these children are, they're in the one mind, the one heart, the one love. And so we can just right now just take a moment in our own hearts to send out that love and to know I know that all children in every part of the world, starting here in the center and out into the world, are safe, are evolving, are supported, are loved, and have everything they require. I know that in the mind of good, everything is already there. And so I just bring it forth today in my mind, knowing that supply is made present right now, right here, with love, grace, and ease, as we affirm together. And so it is. Thank you. So you want to talk
Yeah,
about
just a
that?
reminder, this is our building fund over here. If you see people dropping coins in our wonderful building fund here. And bills. The bills are a little obvious here. We still haven't counted. That's Rita. She keeps saying, do you want to count it? I go, that'd be lovely. Did you want to do that? Because I loved it as a
We
kid,
have to
but
count it,
we
yeah.
are so appreciative. A couple things. We do have our, what we call our affirmative box, yes box out there if something has come up.
Yes. Good. We have spiritual mind treatment as our form of healing in science of mind and spirit, and we have beautiful practitioners here and ministers that will treat for you after service. I'm not sure who's on duty today. Reverend Diane's here. Can you be up here? Reverend Peggy? Yeah, we have quite a few here.
And
We
Rob
have-
is
and Rob.
the
Yes. You
person.
can always go back and talk to Rob. If you have something's come up and you really just want a spiritual mind treatment, which is just them speaking their word for you, and it's powerful because that word goes into the one mind, the one law, and manifests everything for us. So when we can't know it for ourselves, someone else is allowed to know it for us. And they're just knowing our greatness. So thank you for doing that today. And there's also the treatment box Patrick was talking about. If you just want to put a request in there, something that you want to know for your life, an experience you want to have, just put it in there, and Patrick and I will pray on it this week, all week. All right? So,
And we will be in the back or by the front door if you would like. I'm serving double duty today. I'm the acting volunteer coordinator and better known as the cruise line director. And if you would like to help set up next Sunday and then also whatever you want to bring for the potluck, just go to Roseanne. She will be out there, or just come to me and we'll sign up, especially setting up and breaking down stuff like that. So mahalo, and Ron will be selling love notes.
love
to-
notes, yes.
So there you
All
go.
right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you for your
coming. Let's
consciousness,
Have our,
everyone.
thank for bringing your consciousness here and for everything you give. We love you and we know your lives are blessed. So let's close
Let's
out with our
stand and
closing
have our
song.
beautiful closing song.
People might be familiar with this song, and I want it to be loud and raucous.
Loud and raucous. We're gonna
It's a Ricky Byers Beckwith song.
I
release
release
and
and
I
I
let
let
go.
go. Let the spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light, and I'm free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love.
Gratitude and a new mic that feel like weightlifts. So what I do know is that gratitude is where we all start. Forgiveness, gratitude. But today I start with who was at that door greeting you so beautifully was Deb and Harry. So they were right there saying aloha, giving those programs that Rita made over the weekend or wherever we are in time and space. And our wonderful practitioner who was freed today from that corner to give us that wonderful meditation and that spiritual mind treatment. He is free at last. So what I know is that we had this beautiful, beautiful announcements by the wonderful Michelle, who's not only that, but she does so many things around here in our heart. And she's 40 years old now. Let's give it up. 40! And this wonderful, wonderful Jonathan who can only get the mics to me, but I have to actually pick him up. So all I know is thank you. And Bren and Maria, thank you for continuing this wonderful journey of music together right here and right now. And I'd like to thank my wonderful, beautiful, beautiful co-spiritual director of 16 years of marriage. I want to say, love you. And back to me. And I would like to say and not be afraid to thank myself for all that I am. And I suggest that we all thank ourselves for who and what we are, because that is where it starts. The gratitude, the love starts right where you're standing, right here and right now, and it comes from that. And that's where God, that's where good, that's where love resides. So the search is over. It is right here and right now. So knowing that, I just say yes. Can you say yes with me? Yes, it is done, as together we say, and so it is.
I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my